This baseball season, catch every game at Long Neck Sports Grill. There's 3 locations in Northern Kentucky, Wilder, Hebron, and Ridgewood. Each one of them very easy to get to. Each one of them has 4K TVs all over the place, and each Long Neck's location has an amazing beer selection. Plus, if you haven't tried Long Neck's wings, what are you waiting for? And don't forget, as the weather gets warmer, there's no better place to hang out than Long Neck's outdoor patio. Long Neck Sports Grill. This spring and summer, stay late. Come off the 23 away from 5 o'clock on ESPN 1530. I'm Mo Egger. Every Wednesday we talk injuries. This started during the football season. We've kept it going all throughout baseball. We chat with one of the experts from OrthoCincy. OrthoCincy has specialists and locations across the tri-state. And they offer walk-in orthopedic urgent care during the week from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn more at OrthoCincy.com. That's OrthoCincy.com. Joining us this week is our buddy Dr. Angel Velazquez from OrthoCincy. I have 2 reds I want to ask you about. One is TJ Freidl with his oblique, but the other, let's start with Nick Lodolo. So we saw earlier this week he was going to be sidelined with a calf issue. Now we have seen that he underwent an MRI, and they have determined that he has a stress reaction in his left tibia, and he's going to be reevaluated in a couple weeks. Let's start with the beginning of that verbiage. What is a stress reaction?
Well, a stress reaction on the tibia means that there's some bruising into the bone that is caused by loading, right? So, these guys to be ready, they need to train, they need to run, they need to do some weightlifting. And sometimes with the weight and the pushing off, and the stress in the mount, they can develop this inflammation into the bone that becomes stress and become a stress fracture in the future. So, the stress reaction is a bone bruise, right? When you turn that into a stress fracture, it's more like a fracture, a crack, or a break into the bone that sounds like he doesn't have. So stress reaction means an inflammation and a bruise into the bone.
All right, a tibia. Where's the tibia?
The tibia is one of the 2 bones that goes on the lower leg. That those 2 bones go into the foot and become an ankle, right? So the tibia is the bone that got most of the weight that is coming on your body. So every time he's pushing off, especially left-handed pitcher, left leg, he's pushing with an angle, and most of the weight are going to go directly to that tibia when he's pushing off.
So he's going to be evaluated in a couple of weeks. When that evaluation is done, what sort of things are they going to be looking for?
Well, number one, the treatment for that is, partial weight bearing as tolerated. We put on a walking boot. You may use crutches on occasion, depending how much pain it is and how early it is, and from then he's able to put weight, depending how he's feeling when he doesn't have pain. And in 2 weeks, they're going to press on it because you press into the bone, you figure out how much pain he has. And then from there, you can start doing some weight bearing physical activities to progress. Obviously, on a professional level, sometimes, or most of the time, you may get a second MRI to be sure how's the healing if the timing, and the exam doesn't correlate. So, in 2 weeks, they're going to be sure that his pain is going away. They're going to press on it. They're going to make him start putting some weight on it, see where the pain is. Obviously, at that level, they do, a lot of no weight or, restricted weight exercises. They have the Ultra G, running, and they have the pool, so they can do exercise, so they can still be active, keep the cardiovascular stamina, but obviously not putting weight on it.
What is without the benefit of actually doing the examination, what is the most likely prognosis here? How long could we be talking about him being off the mound?
Well, a lot of time, this take around a couple of weeks for that bruise to go away, depending the stage. Remember, those stress reactions, there's different classification. They can go from a little bruise to almost a stress fracture, right? So depending what is the classification, how much bruise he has, is how long it's going to take. Everybody heal different. He's a young guy. Obviously, you expect him to heal quicker or, as you expect. Other thing is there's other factors. We figure out the vitamin D is another factor that can increase the risk for stress reaction. So, I don't know, check vitamin D from pre-physical and be sure how's that. All those kind of things can help to look for risk factors, right? And hopefully in 2 weeks, he had a lot less pain. He can start adding more weight bearing, and obviously start throwing the ball and then progress to pitching. Remember, as a starting pitcher, a reliever pitcher, that's different from the throwing standpoint. Take a little bit longer just from being started than a reliever.
Dr. Angel Velazquez from OrthoCincy is with us. Let's discuss TJ Freidl, who's on the injury list right now with an oblique strain. So he left the game that the Reds played last week against the Mets. The MRI they did revealed only minor damage. They spent a couple of days trying to figure out how severe the damage was. He did some baseball activity, but ultimately they put him on the injured list. They waited a couple of days to put him on the IL. So give us an idea of what they could have been looking for while they made the determination as to what the course of action was going to be.
Well, first, when you get an oblique injury at the beginning, the symptoms may not be that intense, right? You feel something. Oh, I feel that I get a little cramp there. Obviously, you take it out of the game. You evaluate him. He feels better the next day, and he give it a couple of days, depending, how many games you have at that moment, how many people on the roster you have. You may wait, and then when you realize, okay, we got a test, we got an MRI, we know exactly what it is. It's gonna take him time. Then you retroactive go to the the injury list, right? So if he's not playing, he can go back retroactive. So those 4 days really. The only thing they didn't have an extra player to play, right? But they managed to go through that, and then after you realize what it is, then you can start progressing. So oblique injuries, could be minor, could be major. Hitters are 47% of the oblique injuries in Major League Baseball. Pitchers are 35%, hitters are 47%. So after you realize what it is, first 1 or 3 days is complete rest, right? Let it rest, let it come down, reevaluate it, and then after that you can start getting some kind of light activities over the first week, and then progress slowly depending how he feels.
Are there treatment options for something like this beyond rest?
Yes, there's a lot of different treatment options. First, the rehab aspect is so advanced right now that you can do a lot of activities that in the past we were unable to do. We can do some, pull low resistance exercise as early as week 1 when the pain allow it, and then progress to that, and then adding high speed and more loading into the oblique by week 10 to 14 days, right? But you can do other things depending the degree of the injury. Oblique injury, because it's a muscle injury, they should heal by itself. But sometimes it is a minor injury. You can do a little bit of injection to calm down the inflammation, like a little steroid shot. Or if it's a little bit more like a tear, you can do platelet injection or PRP injection to help. So yes, there is different things that can be done depending the degree of the severity of the injury. And sometimes you don't really have to do anything. You just need to, if it's something that is really minor, you may let the course go and you just progress with the exercise and therapy to promote that fusion of healing of the muscle.
Outstanding insight, as always. It's always good to talk to you. We'll do it soon, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mo.
You got it. Dr. Angel Velazquez from OrthoCincy, OrthoCincy.com. I say this every single week. The great thing about the people at OrthoCincy, specialists and locations all across the tri-state. This includes walk-in orthopedic urgent care, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in both Edgewood and Eastgate. And it goes without saying, it's easier and most definitely cheaper than going to an ER when you have an urgent orthopedic injury. Go to OrthoCincy.com. That's OrthoCincy.com. Hey, it's Mo Egger. This spring, make Long Neck Sports Grill you and your buddies go-to hangout. Never miss a baseball game on their 4K TVs. Check out the amazing beer selection. And if you haven't yet tried Long Neck's wings, what are you waiting for? Long Neck's has 3 locations in Northern Kentucky, Wilder, Hebron, and Richwood. Each one of them very easy to get to. And don't forget, there's no better place to hang out when the weather gets warm than Long Neck's outdoor patio. Long Neck Sports Grill. This spring, stay late, come often.